men. One day they hold you in the palms of their hands, gentle, as if you were the last raw egg in the world. Then they tighten up, just a little.
Bad bitch, ayy. Fuck out my face, love my real hair, or my cheap lace, banging body, ayy. Bend on displace, I'm a tech hoe, and this is my space.
I decided to open with that poem from Maya Angelou because today's topic is men. But it's also the pick-me's who are supporting these men and who are validating their misogynoir. So, let me just go to my notes. As I'm sure you've already seen, there was a lady in Houston, Texas who got hit by a brick after rejecting a man's request for her phone number. And you would think that this would elicit sympathy for her, but instead it started a witch hunt to invalidate her claims. And one of the main people who was saying that we don't need to protect this woman was Terrain Walker. And Terrain Walker is a certified POS, so I try not to engage with those types, but this tweet was interesting to me. He said, brothers, how many times have we seen a man try to play Superman in domestic beefs only for his cape to become his shroud? Your duty is to protect you and your family. Practice discernment and situational awareness before you make a move. Then he posted an article of a good Samaritan who got killed. And before I even get into that, I want to talk about another post of his where he said, protect Erica Lachey at all costs. And if you don't already know, Erica Lachey is a professional pick-me who loves to just show that she is in support of men at all times, no matter what. And the reason why I bring those two people up together is because they were part of the discourse that tried to invalidate this woman getting hit with the brick. They were saying, oh, well, only certain people deserve protection. And let me show you Erica Lachey's video.
Diamonds and dirt, and rubies and rocks. Rubies and diamonds are often in jewelry stores. They're in glass cases, they're secured, there's an alarm system. There's a lot of layers of protection because those things are valuable. But
I got thoughts on that, but I saw a really good video from this lady named Jessica who broke it down why this rubies and diamonds and dirt and rocks analogy falls short.
In the video, the creator says that women must be okay with giving up control in order to receive protection. She uses the analogy of diamonds and rubies that are locked away in a glass shelf and protected versus the rocks and dirt that you see on the ground. Here's the problem with that analogy. If we're to take that analogy at face value, rubies and diamonds are inanimate objects that are violently plucked out of the ground and then put behind glass shelves for commercial commodification.
So like Jessica said, even if you're a ruby versus a rock, you're still a victim of the patriarchy because you're violently plucked from the ground and then you're placed in a case and you're shown on display. Like, why is that a better position than being a rock? Honestly, at least the rock is free to roam. You're stuck in a glass case. And you say that, yes, you're protected, but why do you think that you're a ruby and other women are rocks? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. And honestly, pick-meism is a dangerous mindset because it creates harm for women, especially black women. Like, these pick-me's are dangerous women. And I don't mean in the way that men think that women are dangerous women. I mean they're literally dangerous to womankind. Pick-meism is dangerous because these women would sell you up the street if it meant they could lick a man's boots and be considered a valued woman or a high value woman, as the late ungreat Kevin Samuels would say. But I want to also talk about the Alabama brawl because I see some discrepancies between how that was treated versus how this woman in Houston was treated. So during the Alabama brawl, people saw this black man getting beat up by 5 white people and they rushed to his defense and we were all cheering for them. We were all happy. But come a few weeks later, a black woman is getting attacked by a brick and no one comes to her rescue. And men even come out and say that they were proud to be bystanders. Some men say that they're going to get their own bricks. Like, what is going on? But I think we know what's going on. It's the patriarchy. It's misogynoir. It's all these things that people have talked about and there's whole discourses about and scholarship about, but people don't want to admit that it's the patriarchy at work because they don't think that black men can be patriarchal, which is untrue. And I also want to talk about some other examples where I saw some of these contradictions and this misogynoir come back up. So over the summer, there was this woman named Carlicia Hood, and she was getting beat up at Maxwell's by this 32-year-old man, and her 14-year-old son had to come in and shoot the man. He ended up killing him because he was punching his mom in the head. And people were on the man's side, the one who died, but honestly, I'm on the teenager side. Like, why are you sitting here beating up a woman over some food? Or I don't even know what the dispute was about. But the sad part was that there were other men there who did not intervene. Like, they just sat and watched this lady get beat up. Then they lied to police and made it seem like she was the antagonist in the situation. But then when evidence came out that she wasn't the antagonist, she was released from prison and they dropped the charges against her and her son. But it's still like she spent 5 days in jail because of what y'all did. And I don't like that. I really don't. And then I also think about Megan Thee Stallion. So we had this big trial with Tory Lanez, and it was just so nasty. Like Tory Lanez had this 3-year hate campaign against Megan, and he paid bloggers to lie on her and lie about evidence. He gave evidence to DJ Academics, which DJ Academics released, and it's just like, what is wrong with y'all? But then we know what's wrong with y'all. Y'all don't understand consent. Y'all hate women. And y'all think that men are supposed to be in charge. Those are 3 of the things that's wrong with you. And you probably need therapy, but black women don't want to be your therapist because you're creepy. But anyway, to wrap this all up, I just want to say that for all black women, I want a soft life. Like, I'm just tired of seeing these stories where black women are being killed, we're victims of femicide, we're victims of violence. Like, can we have another narrative? And to close out, I am going to read an excerpt from my book, Afrofest. I wanted to be something for everyone else so much that I didn't know how to be myself. Ronell Ross Cassels.